Wealthy Americans are actually driving up prices for everyone. But most people don't even realize this is happening. And that's why I bring up this one question. If wealthy Americans return products more often than others, should you be forced to foot the bill? Because that's essentially what is happening. I'm going to show you an article in a moment. But before I do, imagine this scenario where a wealthier shopper decides to buy 5 pairs of shoes, and yet they return 4 and only keep 1. This is what's happening. This is why prices for online marketplaces are surging, because they have to deal with returns. That's a huge problem, and we actually are not getting this under control. Look at this right here. It says wealthy Americans' online shopping habits are costing retailers billions, and all consumers may pay the price. We're going to go over this article because in this article, it is going to show you and shock you as to what consumers are doing. I actually have a personal story of my own where I have done something like this. Again, I'm not proud of it, but it was just the way things worked out. And I'll address that in a moment, but I want to ask you this as well. Have you actually purchased anything online, whether it's from Amazon or another company? Have you purchased items online knowing that there was a very good chance you weren't going to keep it? Let me know down in the comment section below. What was it and why did you decide to buy it? But look at this right here. It says, a 2025 Bank of America Institute found that higher income households returned 5.3% of their purchases, compared with just 3.7% for lower income households. And with return rates rising overall, Optura reports that 46% of consumers now return items multiple times per month. Now, I want to tell you my personal story. So just recently, I decided to upgrade my monitor, and previously I had two 32-inch Samsung monitors, and those two monitors worked great and had them for a couple years, and they were perfect. But I wanted something that was a little more efficient, and I wanted to add a third monitor. Well, this is what I did. Instead of just buying another monitor and just another 32-inch monitor, I decided I wanted to go bigger. So I ended up purchasing a Samsung Odyssey 57-inch monitor. At the same time, and that was like a $1,500 monitor, which I still have and it's sitting right in front of me. At the same time, I wasn't sure if that was the exact monitor I wanted. So I also bought a Samsung 49-inch monitor, which showed up a day before this 57-inch. So I had those two monitors. I also, and I don't remember the brand, but it was another 47-inch or 49-inch monitor. I ended up buying that one as well, all from Amazon. Here's the thing. I kept one of those monitors. So the two 49-inch monitors, one was $700, the other one was $800, total $1,500. And then the Samsung Odyssey, 57-inch. This one was originally $2,300. It was on sale, I believe, for $1,500, something like that. So out of $3,000 in monitors, I kept one monitor, sent the other two back. That's my personal story. And I'll do this every once in a while when I buy things like shirts. If I don't feel like going to a store, I'll just buy shirts off of Amazon. And I'll buy multiple sizes. I'll buy different colors. And then what I try on and like, I'll keep. The other stuff I send back. Now, I don't buy shirts and I don't buy clothing every single week. You probably noticed this shirt that I'm wearing right now. I probably had this for several years. And I think I have 3 or 4 of these. Of this exact same color, exact same shirt. You'd never know the difference. Because I like it. So I buy it. But that's what's different. I want to read something to you. Look at this right here. It says, why wealthier shoppers return more and what it means for retail. Wealthier consumers are more likely to buy speculatively, purchasing items they're unsure about with intent to return some or all of them. This includes practices like bracketing, where shoppers order multiple sizes, colors, or versions of a product to keep only what works. Now, it's a Ben Sherman shirt. This shirt that I'm wearing, and I really like it. I have some white ones, I have a couple gray ones. I don't know if I ever wore them on here, but I have a bunch of different colors. Here's the thing. This shirt, they actually make a different style now, where I purchased it thinking it was the same shirt. It was actually a black shirt, kind of the same, design, stitching, whatever. And it was a black shirt. It was a different fabric. Okay, it was a different fabric. I ended up buying 5 of them and sent them all back because I didn't like it. It was a different fabric. Okay, again, just another personal story of mine. Let's keep reading this though. It says right here, that's likely to be somewhat easier for someone who has a higher income to do. Simply, lower income households, they are going to be less inclined to use their money to buy, $1,000 worth of product or $100 worth of shirts, because that's money that they absolutely need. Okay? And I'm not here to say, I don't need this money. It's, I'm just giving it away. No. But I value time. I don't go to grocery stores. I don't go to retail stores. And I don't do those things because it takes time to walk into the store, to drive to the store, to walk in, look at the stuff that you're there to see, and you may end up picking up one thing. And then you got to buy it, and you go out to the car, you drive it home. Okay, I don't try anything on at a store. Again, it just takes some more time. So again, I value time. Let's keep reading this though. It says this trend isn't new. It's the online version of a fitting room, which I don't use. The difference: returns in e-commerce come with steep costs. Unlike in-store returns, which might take a few minutes to restock, online returns involve shipping, processing, and repacking expenses. In 2024 alone, U.S. retailers expected nearly 17% of total sales to be returned, costing an eye-watering $890 billion. That's almost $1 trillion in returns. Yeah, that's a massive amount. I want to just explain something. Here's the problem. If you continue to return items, and again, I don't do this every single day. I just don't. I don't buy monitors every week or every month. So it's a one-time thing. I also don't buy clothes every single week. But there are people out there that do. Many wealthier households will buy several products. And they will, and let me just give you an example here. I was selling, and this was probably a year or so ago, I was selling a certain type of cookware. It's a higher end cookware, and I was selling it on Amazon. Well, somebody ended up buying it. And so when they bought it, they actually bought that one, and I had another, like a cheaper brand, but I had another brand, another kind of set. And so they ended up buying both. I was curious about that because I ended up getting both of them back, and both of them were used. Okay? So I ended up losing money. As a reseller, I ended up losing money on this because I had to sell them as used like new. They weren't brand new anymore. And so again, I was a little bit frustrated, but here's my point on this. People do this all the time with kitchen items, where now you can't sell it as new. So you will actually lose money. The seller will actually lose money, whether it's a retailer, third-party seller, it doesn't matter. You'll lose a little bit of money. But the reason why I bring this to your attention is because we are seeing that, and again, for me personally, in order to make money, I took the loss on those items, but on a few of the other kitchen items that I had, I actually raised the prices on it in order to make sure that my loss wasn't so big as a whole. So again, the reason I'm bringing this up, let's say I'm buying shirts and I send 10 shirts back, didn't like any one of them. As a seller, my costs are going up. So what do? I raise the prices on my other items. Guess what? That's essentially what's happening to you right now, where many wealthier individuals are buying all these products, sending all of it back because they don't want it. And you see this all the time when it comes to books. I saw this all the time when I was selling textbooks for school. People would use them for a month or so, then they'd send it back. Okay, in most cases it was probably like 3 weeks, and then they'd send it back. And guess what happened? Then they'd buy it again, and about 3-4 weeks later they'd send it back. They'd return it, and guess what? They'd buy another book, and then they'd send it back. Okay, it was just repeat over and over again. I've seen this several times where I've sold tents on Amazon, and people buy them in the summertime, and they're brand new in the box, but yet when I get it back, the box is open, the tent's been used. Yeah, but yet still I give a full refund. This is what's happening. People are using items for several weeks or for a weekend, then they send it back and get a full refund. It's crazy, but that's what's happening. I'm not saying that's what everyone's doing, but that is what is partially to blame for why prices are rising. That and the fact that wealthier individuals are buying more goods and sending it all back. So, if you're wondering why are prices still going up on Amazon and other online marketplaces, that's the reason why. Yes, tariffs have a little bit to do with this. Okay, the cost of labor has a little bit to do with it. Cost of shipping has a little bit to do with it. But also the processing involved and the sellers raising prices because they don't want to lose money. So, let me ask you this again. What items have you purchased recently knowing that there's a good chance you are likely sending that back? Let me know what items you purchased recently and what the plan was. Did you think you were just going to send them back, or did you plan on keeping them? Let me know. I'm just curious. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.